What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Age of Sigmar R&D with Rob and Dale. We got Dale back. We missed you, buddy.
I'm here in spirit.
You're here. You were
For
here in
those who don't
spirit.
know, I've been ever since we had what was it, the Pacific Northwest Masters the weekend before last,
Yeah.
and I was pretty much tired a week, and then like Thursday I had a hospital appointment just to get a lung checkup, and then I've just been like sick with a cold since. So I have a pic something up. My girlfriend had a call recently from her, or hey Dan, or from the hospital, or
Yo,
from
Dan.
the Masters. But it was just a cold. It wasn't COVID. I've still dodged that bullet.
You still
So
haven't
I'm
gotten
here.
COVID?
I will try and cough as little as possible. I am on Vicks and Halls and all that good stuff.
You know what's funny is, so I was making an elaborate base for my spider, my web spinner shaman, and I used so much super glue that it like set my sinuses off, so where it's like I have a cold. I don't, but you know if you like use too much super glue, it's an irritant and it can just make you like, oh yeah. So
It's just to glue it, not sniff it.
yeah, I couldn't help it. Like, so
I mean, it's a nice
I'm-
afternoon getaway.
I made this like I'm still working on
Ooh,
it. Like,
nice.
but yeah, I used a bunch of bits. I cut them up from the what's it called, the Goblin Town from Lord of the Rings. So this
Yep.
is like what's going to go on there, and then this is the actual bit. Ah,
Oh, cool.
I almost stabbed myself with it. And then this guy's going to go in the front, and then I've got some other stuff that's going to go in there, and then there's going to be a web that goes in between here, and the spider is going to go on the front of here. So, and then it's a swamp base, etc. So my most elaborate base ever, but I suffered for it. Yo, Thor. Oh wow, Dan, thank you again, dude. You shouldn't don't
Yes, he should. He can contribute
No.
to my Trogoth needs.
he like I'm not getting paid from YouTube. I
Oh,
like
really? You're still
YouTube's.
not getting paid?
Yeah, I've sent them like a couple of emails now and no response.
Interesting.
So
So they back owe you money.
yeah, I don't know, and it's really frustrating when you're dealing with like this public kind of corporate faceless entity where you don't even have like someone you can talk to directly, like
Yeah.
even after you're whatever. Anyway, thank you very much, Dan. I am going to
Maybe you
be.
need to double check your account lickings.
I,
Account
I
links.
well, there's like a problem with the account. So like
Okay.
I was getting paid, like there's two sections to it for AdSense, and I was getting paid in one section, and then the other section was my YouTube section. So I wasn't getting paid in the YouTube section ever, but I was getting paid, so I was like, whatever, right? So then, yeah, me too. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. And anyway, so then they canceled my account that I was getting paid in.
Okay.
And none of the stuff that, yeah, anyway, it's a long story, but I'm still working it out. I am going to be.
Did you see Darren's message there? Said they only ever pay every few months. And
No, I know. No, I know that. And like, I've been paid thus far from the advertisement stuff, but it was paid into the non-YouTube section. So then, and then they canceled that section where I was getting paid. So now I'm just like, and they also never paid me for any of the supers that Dan has sent. So
Oh,
yeah, I am going to use the spider serum. I've got it next to my airbrush booth, Dan. Actually, what's crazy is my airbrush booth broke. And
what's the spider serum?
it's from Green Stuff World. You basically
Oh,
put
is that to make?
it's to make it like look
Spider
like
webs
webs.
stuff?
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. I had it before because I had spiders like 4 or 5 years ago. I had a whole army of spiders, and I bought the spider serum. But what's crazy about that stuff is if you don't use it within a certain period of time, even if you never open it, it just evaporates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really wild, and the cleaner does too. So word to the wise. I know, Dan, but like they're not paying me, so save your money. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna like, hopefully this weekend, I'm gonna have a video up that's gonna go onto the Patreon, and it's gonna be like it's a Path to Glory game. It's my new gits, 600 points of my gits versus 600 points of Carson's ogres. It's a hilarious game. we were drinking during it, so I don't remember a lot of what happened, except for it was kind of hilarious and it was really fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So save your dollary dues and come join the Patreon. I'm hoping to do a like a contest again, and I'm just going to do it exclusively through the Patreon this time. And I'm hoping to do a lot of stuff. So I've got that, and I've got a hobby video I'm making right now that's going to go behind the Patreon thing. So yeah, there's a lot of hopefully good content coming your guys' way. Why am I sweating, Dale?
I need to get a job so I can buy myself a giant spider and 6 strawberries.
You want 6 more, hey?
Yeah, well, basically the ones I used for Kippers were 6 of them were Ricky's from Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Now I've run 2 units of 6 that weren't Galician veterans. I want that as kind of like a permanent staple, because it's like a very solid defensive line, but it also packs a punch as well. So I need to get 6 more, and I'm also, as we'll talk about later, there's been some changes and some points.
Yeah.
And rather than having the die brute guy, I want to take a cheaper hero, and then maybe fit in like a spider or something.
No.
Yeah, no, you only need 9 Ragnaroks.
That list though that someone posted, the first list that they posted wasn't legal, because they had like a bunch of skitter strands, and they had the regular Ragnaroks, but it goes over the behemoth limit. Yeah. So
unless they were like $5 each, even then I don't know if I can afford that right now.
That kit is an amazing kit, but is a giant pain in the patootie to put together. It's the worst. What's crazy too about that kit is they have the numbers on there for like on the sprue, but in the instructions there's nothing. Yo, Keith.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a 3D print file, but I do want to get one of them because it's like a really nice model.
It's a really cool kit, and there's a bunch of extra bits in there which are really awesome. I started on him. This spider, so the first spider that I made is like kind of blue, like a dark blue with green, and this one's going to be kind of a white spider because it's the web spinner shaman, giant Ragnarok. So I want it to be kind of creepy,
Oh, is this your second spider then?
This is my second. Yeah, I did the first one. I did it with the flinger because I was just like, whatever. I'll just play it with whatever. Like, you know what I mean? People aren't going to care. But
yeah, you're not playing it.
You have 7, and he just ordered 2 more. Dan is the god. Damn it, I can't equal that. Oh man, like I love spiders. Like they're my second favorite animal. I love them to death. I know like so much about them, but man, yeah, I don't think I can afford that, Dan. Actually, here, I'll be right back. I need to show you guys how I
love the fact that they made the spiders cheaper, but they're still pretty bad.
I mean, there's
the kind of common stuff of a lot of the lot. I did, however, I have them hiding on the shelf, but I finally opened my Gobapalooza and I have glued them and I've base coated them.
Nice.
I just need to start painting them.
I've zenithalled mine.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been working elsewhere. Whoops. It just made me disappear. That was crazy.
Nice.
So
okay, it's my finger shot.
Yeah, these boxes predate the start collecting. And so like start collecting in Canada are like 115-ish roughly normally now. But these were, and this, I think the skitter the Ragnarok kit is like $80, and I think these guys are like 45 for 10 in Canada.
Okay.
And this box was I think 85 when it was like sold at retail, right?
Yeah.
And then Alex one day, like I was like, he knows I really like spiders, and I just wanted a spider army. This is like a few years ago, or like maybe 4 years ago. He was like, "Hey Rob, there's they're doing they have a clearance deal on that box, $60 Canadian."
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
So I bought like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have spiders, but I'm still working on them. I'm super excited for them. I love spiders. So, yeah. Look forward to lots of spiders on the channel. I also have the War Boss guy, the Scuttle Boss on Giant Cave Spider. So, Yeah, so Shaman Spider, 4 War Party, and 3 Skitter Strands. Yeah, yeah, that works. So that's 7. That's 8. So if you have one more, you could have 9 giant spiders. Oh man, that's so cool though, Dan. I really want that. But I have to I've got 30 of these these little spider guys though. I should probably paint them first. On our toes because they're making news. Yeah, me too. That would be great, and hopefully they're good. Hopefully I'll get these painted before that too. Anyway, we should probably get started on some things. So the rumor engine is a big flop. It's, I don't normally say this, but it's just like
it's so boring.
It's so boring. Like, not only does it not give us hope that it's Age of Sigmar, but it's just like an exhaust port from like a knight or a vehicle of some kind. It might be upside down, but oh man, it was a big fat load of who cares. On to the topic. Actually, was there anything that we wanted to bring up, that's happened? We talked about the chameleon skinks.
Nothing recent, apart from they've released the fact of the ogres are on pre-order this weekend.
Right. Yes. Actually,
which means
good call.
You'll be able
or not
to
this weekend. Or it's on pre-order this weekend. Sorry, I see what you.
Yeah. Because it's Tuesday now. So the ogre book comes on pre-order this weekend. So if you look online on Saturday, I'm sure AoS Coach and all these places that get the books beforehand will have a review show.
Yep.
Or Rerolling Ones might have a battle report up with the new book because they usually get it earlier.
I should have posted that actually in here.
But then also, I think it is
let me see if I can find it.
The Chaos Special Edition box is also out this pre-order this weekend.
It is. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, which is interesting. But you'll probably have to wait at least a month or two for the book to come out, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Did I get it up there? I did. Okay, so the box set is coming. I love these what do you call them, like runes or whatever? Although, I mean, maybe it's Prince. Are they alluding to Prince? Because it's Prince. You got the Demon Prince, and then you've got 99 here. So is this Demon Prince gonna party like it's 1999?
Maybe.
Is that what they're alluding to? Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. Because they clearly indicated December, but then the whole bloody book, just fell into everyone's lap. So yeah.
I kind of think they're now going to troll people where they're like, here's the special edition box set. It's got all the Warcoda cards. It has all this cool stuff inside.
Yeah.
Here, have fun. You can't play it legally.
They've already said that. They've already said you can't play it legally until the regular book and stuff comes out. And it's like, no one's going to listen to you.
I mean, they'll play it in club games and stuff, but tournaments don't usually allow you to play it until the FAQs come out. Which means
it depends on
when's that going to be?
It depends on the tournament.
True.
I saw a few 2-dayers had posted stuff with the the new books the same weekend, or not the same weekend, but the following weekend. Not even close to when, but it's cool. Yeah, and you don't need a crutch.
What my hopes is right now is I have a dream. Which my dream is I'm going to get a job before the end of the month, so I can still go to LVO.
I like how attainable and down to earth the dream is.
Between now and LVO, a new edition of the General Handbook is going to come out, which doesn't have bounty hunters anymore, and then I'm going to take my gits to LVO because I could have a chance of beating up a load of American chumps and doing 4-1 or 5-0 at LVO with gits.
Definitely. I guess we
should. If I could do well at LVO with Gits, and if I could do one more tournament before then with Gits, then I could get the ITC Gits Player of the Year because no one else has really been playing them, and if they have, they haven't really gone above a 3-2.
What do you?
And I'm a 3-2 and a 4-1.
Yeah. What do you get if you're the Gits player? Is it just like
You get a trophy at the ITC.
what?
Like,
Really?
there is actually a trophy because
Oh, that's
LVO
amazing.
is the final. That's the end of the year. So if whoever's at the end of the event,
Hmm.
they calculate the year's results. They upload it straight away, and then if the top players are there for each race,
Yeah.
then they get there's a prize.
Okay.
There's a little trophy. Yeah.
Cool. Hey. By the way, these new models are amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I know a lot of people are thinking about um, doing chaos. Yes, Dan, I know you are. Yeah, that's why I need to do well at LVO because that's a big jump.
Oh, yeah.
Because LVO is like 260 odd people, so if you can like top 20 even in that, that's a huge chunk of points.
Dan
And then
just
I
said
need to
he's
do
not
one
going
more
to
event where I have
LVO.
3-2 or 4-1.
It's dirty pool, Dale.
It is. It is.
But
Well, there's just so many people. But this is like I want to play Gits full time because I like playing an army that is A, an underdog, and B, not many people play. For a while, when I started Daughters of Cain, I was like the only Daughters of Cain player going to these events
yeah,
in 2019.
locally,
Or like there'd be one or two of us.
yeah,
But like a lot of events you see nowadays is like I was looking at a lot of the US. There's like 6 to 8 Daughters of Cain. I mean, most of them all use Marathi apart from one or two.
hmm
But it's like I don't want to play that. I want to go and play something else, but it's not like tons of people.
Well,
So that's why I want to go get.
we should probably talk about on that same vein. Honest Wargamer tweeted out that apparently Gits are going to be really strong.
Yeah, he made a post about, and again, it's just Rob being Rob. He made a post about a lot of playtesters have supposedly been buying Gits in the background kind of thing, secondhand armies and stuff. So they're saying that they're going to be. Yeah, I'm an AoS hipster. I've already resigned myself to the fact that I'm an AoS hipster because I don't use Marathi or Kronspine or
That's true.
all this named stuff. I don't use named people.
You were born in the AOS hipster. Other people.
I said it goes all the way back to fantasy where I refused to use techless. I used to use a Star Dragon when everyone else used to use techless and stuff. And no one else used dragons because dragons were terrible because of the cannon there, and I just did it anyway.
Wait, which one are you talking about? Which dragons?
So back in Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Oh, fantasy! I was like, what?
The high elves
what?
used to have three different dragons. So there was a Sun Dragon, a Moon Dragon, and a Star Dragon.
Right.
The Star Dragon was ridiculously expensive, but it was the only one you couldn't one hit kill with a cannon. So everyone else used to always run Techless because Techless was dumb and broken, as he kind of was for a while now.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I was like the only people who used a Star Dragon. And when we went to the South Coast GT, which is one of the big Warhammer ones, I was top high elf, and all the others were Techless lists. And that was me with my Star Dragon going, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, especially during the days of comp, it'd be even better.
Yeah. So I've always been a hipster.
Wow. You've always.
Matthias keeps giving me hassle for it. He's like, I want you to play as Marathi list. And it's like, I do, but I don't, but I do. I also kind of don't want to use that sort of list because if I use that list and did terrible with it, then I've got no like gripe against it. It's like, oh no, I just stopped using Marathi. Rather than I don't use Marathi and I just do what I do.
It would be a very different game plan. You know, you have to make sure you get your points worth out of. She's arguably not expensive enough, I'm sure, to some people, but she's still an expensive model. So it's like Archeon.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I've played against her 7 times now, and I've won against her 7 times in tournaments. Same with Archeon, and it's just kind of like how you can handle and deal with her. But then again, it's like it's the devil you know. It's like you know that how that piece plays, and you know what to do. Yeah. So when you play again, and that's what like it's the same thing with Kronspine, where a lot of people have an issue with Kronspine because they don't play against it much, or they maybe played against it once or something. Well, I've played Kronspine so much that I was like, I don't know if I can take it or not.
Not only that, but you played with Kronspine quite a bit.
Yeah, a couple of times.
And that's really, I think that's a good way of learning.
Not in a tournament, just to confirm. It's just in local games.
Have you never played it in tournament?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I only played it. I played against you on the channel once. Yeah. Against a Seraphon, and then I think I played against it once versus my friend Roman.
Oh, okay.
And that's really it. Because I tried it, and I was just like, nah, this is not really my sort of thing.
Yeah. But like you said, like if you know it, I don't know, I don't think it's as good as it seems. you know, I kind of wish that they would have increased the points a little more, just so it's everyone's just like, okay.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Fair enough. Right. Yeah. Alex is another hipster, by the way. Oh, and Dan's 15,000 points of gits.
Yeah, no. As I was saying, that's an amazing
wow.
amount of the old.
Yes. Yeah, that beats even my Skaven.
That's
I'm around 12,000 points of Skaven, so I thought that was a lot, but yeah. Yeah, it's half painted. Yeah, I mean, mine's like I think it's about 3/4 painted. I'm not.
So I've probably got about 8,000 points of gits, and they're probably about half painted as well.
Yeah, that's a lot too. I don't think I have that much, especially with these changes. Anyway, actually, first of all, so just to complete this, Ogre Maw Tribes getting a new, or the book is on pre-order this Saturday. Get it while it's hot. Speaking of hot, this new battle, like, I know this isn't everyone's deal, but that cover is, like, if you like ogres, that cover is sick. Like, that is
It's awesome. Nice to see actually getting some different covers.
Yeah, new cover, yeah. They're
red back.
They're one of the chosen. I don't like, by the way, Games Workshop, I know you're not listening, but if you are, like, I for the next edition, don't make them all one color. I don't know. It's just, it's not on. Like,
I don't know if they do it so then when you look at it on a bookshelf,
you can tell the difference.
Uniform for each edition, kind of thing.
Like, I get it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's great. Like, it just seems cheaper than the old ones to me. But
also, it should be called Warhammer: Age of Warhammer.
Warhammer.
I don't like the fact it's called Age of Sigmar, because it's like, the Sigmar is a tool who sits inside his house sulking and just keeps making his toys to go out and fight for him.
Doesn't matter, Dale. We're still in the Age of Sigmar, okay? According to the Slaves of Darkness, we might go back into the Age of Chaos, though.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, but then again, they're in fighting right now.
Yeah.
So you've got the Archeon Bellicor stuff going on.
So there's also a Vanguard box. The only thing in here that's not great, I think, are these, because everyone has 1 million of them from the old Beastclaw Raiders start collecting. But, like, hopefully these guys are good now, because, like, I don't ever remember them being, like, good. Like, I know some people say...
Which one? Sorry.
I forget what they're called. The Frost Saber guys.
Oh, the Frost Saber Tusks.
Yeah. Like, they're great. They're cool-looking models. I really like the models.
So... They're the Mornfang Cavalry.
Mornfang Cavalry, that's it.
Yeah, so the Mornfang Cavalry get a rule, which is called Line Breakers, which is the one where you can only hit them on a 6 for stand and shoot.
Oh, okay. Wow. Dan's just going to head to bed. Got to work early in the morning. Yeah, thanks for showing up, Dan. Hopefully you get to, maybe you can watch it back later. I'll timestamp when we actually get to the topic. I'll try to remember to do that.
He also, I think, one of the
have a good night, Dan.
gives Mornfang run and charge.
Oh, okay. Wait, so did they start putting out info for ogres today?
No, I may have been privy to having a look through some of the stuff recently.
Pants.
I won't say how or when.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to take any pictures or anything. But yeah,
no, obviously, yeah.
There was some stuff that was put up on the webpage though.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Which is where the what's his name was from. But there's things like if your tyrant is your general, he can have 2 names now.
Yeah.
Instead of 1, and I think he can get like a 3-up, 5-up or something.
Wow. Well,
so there's some cool stuff coming. It's going to be an interesting book. We also saw that I think the Ren went up on the guys, the foot guys.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah.
So they're at Ren 2 now?
I don't know if on just the normal ones, the
buttons or whatever buttons.
Gluttons, yeah. I think they were not Ren before and then now Ren 1. There was something like it was on the.
I think they're regular. I don't know.
Or maybe they got Reach 2 or something. There was something good about them where everyone was like, "Yay, Gluttons finally got a thing."
Good. And by the way, Games Workshop, if you send us early copies, we won't talk about it because we'll be under NDA. But
yeah.
If we're...
I've already spoken to someone about that. They're not taking any new people right now, but as soon as they do, I've got to poke them again.
Nice. That would be good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, give us a thing when we're under NDA, and then it's like, we can't leak stuff. If you don't give us an NDA,
exactly.
we can talk about stuff.
Then we'll go ham. Like I was like reposting Slaves to Darkness because like a bunch more pictures came out today on the Slaves to Darkness Facebook page, and they're pretty dope. So this is I call this guy Moosey. Now I know he's not everyone's favorite.
Oh, is this Baghead?
No, he's Moosey. Okay.
Ew, guys.
By the way, I'm referencing a movie that's called The Fan, I think, with John Travolta, where he plays a person of imperfect mental capacity, and he calls himself Moosey. Anyway, I love this model. I think the only thing that it's missing is like if he had like hair or like a beard or something. So I think if you just take some green stuff and you make like a beard or something like that, I think he would actually look fine. It's just that this weird...
Yeah, if you got some green stuff, and like just made a mask,
jackass,
and then it'd be great.
Like a torn paper bag that's over his head.
He just looks like he's been hit in the face with a like giant stick.
Yeah, fair.
And why is he like he's this hunter dude who's got bandages over his eyes as well? Like,
I do like him. Alex hates him, which is why he ordered one. That makes perfect sense. If you know Alex, it makes sense anyway.
What you need to take one of those heads that are on his pelt and then like cut it off, or like make a copy of it and then put that on his head as like a helmet or something.
That's fair. Did you see?
And then that would look pretty boss.
Did you see the new dice, Dale?
No, I don't think I
have. They're white with like the Maw, like logo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're kind of white. They're like off-white. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I don't mind them.
Right.
Yeah, they look fine, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, though, like so the Leagues of Voltron dice were down to $40 Canadian, and these ones were back to $48.50 or whatever they were before.
So, my instant thought while looking at those dice.
Yeah. No, don't say it. Okay, never mind.
There's a film people should look up.
No,
I think you're on the right thing.
I know I am, unfortunately.
Teeth. It's called Teeth. It's a horror film.
Oh God, that's not what I was thinking.
No, if you look it up later on.
Teeth is a super famous. No, Teeth is a super famous horror movie. Yeah, no. Yeah. Referenced many a time. No, like there's an episode.
It's like a shark bite as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be like kind of like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars, right? But there's an episode of Bob's Burgers where his sister-in-law like just paints animals' rear ends. Yeah, and
just like a cat butt.
Yeah. There's like they're just covered she covers their restaurant with it, and it's pretty funny. Okay, I think that's. Oh yeah, and then Sylvaneth finally got a Vanguard. Finally have Kurnoth Hunters as part of it. Giants War Scroll cards finally came out, so that's all cool. But should we go on to the topic du jour?
Yeah, go for it.
So we are 30 minutes in, okay? So someone help me remember to add a little, start thing, like, and whatever at the end.
Okay, I'll send you a message. We'll do high technology here.
Perfect, yeah.
30 minutes in, start on topic.
Yeah, it's 30 minutes in, so okay.
Okay.
So, first off...
So Games Workshop,
yes.
in their infinite wisdom, they teased us. They had this going for nearly a month, where it's like, it's coming. We've looked at the meta. We've done this beautiful video on the meta.
Yep.
It's coming. We're going to balance Age of Sigmar. It's time it was needed. There's things that need changing. There's updates that are needed. It's coming. So for weeks and weeks, we all waited. They called out Cruel Boys. They called out these Vikings.
Yeah.
There's been two of the armies that really, really needed a boost because they were on the low end until, I fall on that tournament and kind of boosted Gits up a little bit.
I swear to God, you actually boosted them over.
Oh, well, also with Dan as well, because Dan 3-2'd at the same event. So
did he?
Okay.
Wow, you and Dan.
Yeah. So, so they. But I think they also made a comment about some armies doing a bit too well, like Daughters of Cain. And then nothing happened to Daughters of Cain. They
Nothing
didn't get
happened to them.
any hits whatsoever.
And
I think they talked about Seraphon being fine, and then Seraphon got hit.
Seraphon got slapped, and
Only a little bit, tiny little bit.
Dude, the Skink Priest is now like 140 points or 100. He's like 140 points, a 4-wound hero on like a, what is he on, a 5-up or a 6-up? Like that is way too much. But
no. It's Seraphon. If you've got the Seraphon keyword, you should have like 50 points just added on just for that reason.
I mean, it feels like they just...
Unless you're a Troglodon, if that's still in the game.
Oh, God, yeah. I wish they would make that model good once. I love it, and I always
all
wanted
the dinosaurs.
I mean,
all the dinosaurs cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Not the good dinosaurs. The dinosaurs you never see. Like, you know, make the Scarvet on Carnosaur cheaper, and make, get some of the big older dinosaurs out.
He's not bad. It's the old blood that's not good, and it's the Krokgar model that's not good. Anyway, we're getting off track. Yeah. So at the top of the list, I've got the stats up on the screen. Skink Priest is a good war scroll, but like, it's just I don't think I think they jumped the shark. Like that's so much. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't really care. Like I love Seraphon, but I don't play them on the channel very often because like I usually just play what people want to play against. So
you've never played against a Croak at a tournament, have you?
I actually think Croak is fine because 2 clan rats can kill Croak.
Yeah, it doesn't happen though.
Well, and I mean, like it does. Like I literally like the first couple of weekends, you saw nothing but that. It was really funny. You have to roll poorly for Croak's ability, but not like I mean he was all anyway. It doesn't matter. So putting that aside, we've got Beasts of Chaos #1 in the game, which is so crazy. They've never been #1, and now they are, and they're definitely over like 60% and over is definitely out of that range that we're hoping that they kind of stay in. Honestly, 58%, I'm fine. Like, you don't, if you're gonna make changes, make them really small, right? Like Seraphon, I think they went a little too ham on it, and they're not my main army, but that's fine. Bone Splitters, they definitely went too ham on the nerfs to them, but actually, I guess we'll get to that anyway.
Yeah, we'll go for it. Yeah.
What do we want to say about this graph?
I think it's out of date before they posted it.
Yes.
It's like the problem with these things that they do is they spend like a month writing the thing, but by the time they release it, it's all out of date because they've just wasted a month doing these updates and adding in things. It doesn't state which are new army books and which are old army books because that's the thing, you know. It's like
Zeech is definitely old.
Sons of Behemoth, stuff like that. It's like you got them up 56% there, but like how much of that was with the new army book and how much was the old army book? And,
Well, Zeech and Sons of Behemoth are barely. Do they have their FAQ? No, right?
No, I don't think. Because again, like a lot of events weren't allowing them to be used until as an FAQ.
So it should literally say NA next to that.
Yeah.
Right. Like so, Zeech, Sons of Behemoth, NA, and
or even just do a little star if the book's like from the last 6 months or something. But,
honestly, just put an NA on there. Yeah. Big Wall, Fireslayer, Skaven, Lumineth. Do they have an FAQ? No, right?
No, because they had one for the old book, but
okay, so
kind of
NA.
They did a load of FAQs with this release.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, like, I look at the Lumineth one, and it looks like just the old FAQ, just with some new, like, this is 2022 October text added on, not any of the actual questions that have been asked, because the book had only just come out.
Yeah. Yeah, and earlier, Darren was saying...
I agree with Keith as well. It's like, I think the beasts are there, because there's a lot of people that have been playing for a long time and they weren't good, and then they're now good.
Oh, for sure. And they're a really cool thematic army that's been around since the old world, and we want them to stay, and we want them to get a new book and everything.
There's also a lot of people that have never played against Beasts of Chaos. I've never played against Beasts of Chaos.
I've played against them twice now.
Yeah.
Only once. We only had them once on the channel, and yeah, they're difficult.
So if you turn up to a tournament not expecting rend
Oh yeah.
3, 4, 5+, and
Yeah.
Stuff rallying on a 4+, and stuff ambushing everywhere,
Yeah.
then that can really take it. You can lose easily to that.
It states the dates. The info is from at the bottom. Between 23rd of August and 23rd of October. Okay, I mean that's pretty recent overall. But like I said, actually, first of all, I wanted to mention, because a while back Darren said like he wished that the new Slaves to Darkness book wasn't invalidating his Legion of the First Prince. Yeah, that sucks. Like I actually know how that feels, and it's obnoxious. And hopefully they'll do something. Like there'll be a White Dwarf thing that will make it fun and playable again. Yeah, that's pretty recent. But anyway, so Lumineth Realm Lords also, it should just say NA, right?
Yeah.
Slaves to Darkness should say Who Cares? We're getting a book soon. Ogre Maw Tribes, same,
Yeah,
like
I mean, that's
Devil,
the thing.
Who Cares?
Anyone where they're getting a new book
Right.
within the next couple of weeks should have a little thing on it because.
But He Knights of Slaanesh. Honestly, Gloomspite gets R2. Like, you played your butt off. Dan played his butt off. Continues to play his butt off with Gitz. And you do too. And, like, there's a few people who are just, like, dragging this around. Like, you can't... It's not easy to, like...
One thing I would like them to do as with this sort of result, because they have the details, is how many...
Yeah.
So this gives you a date period of August to October.
Yep.
But one of the big things this chart doesn't tell you is how many people are playing each faction.
Well, it does kind of. So I think...
Where's that on it?
I think it's next to... I think this little mark, like, next to the percentages is how much of the meta, like, how much of them are being played. That could be wrong. But
I don't know. I mean,
you guys tell me if
maybe.
I'm wrong. I thought it was... so it's like... I can't remember, but I was looking at
It's
it
just
earlier.
like plus or minus 5%.
Yeah, so if it's like, so Bone Splitters are plus minus 7% because they have so few games. So like that's why the gap is bigger. And then the Maggotkin is plus minus 3% because they're somewhat popular, I guess. Legion of the First Prince is plus minus 9. That's crazy. Other ones, Big Wah. But yeah, if you're like in like Stormcast, wait, that is no way that's possible. I guess I messed it up because Stormcast Eternal says plus minus 2%. Oh wait, no, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense because they're so popular. Okay. So yeah, 9%.
Yeah.
So yeah, no one's playing Legion of the First Prince. Got it. Yeah. So that was right. Standard deviation, right? Okay. Based off of, because of there's so few, there's so little detail. Okay, yeah. So, I agree with you. I wish they would say exactly
Just because, like, a lot of tournaments you go to, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, I think about a couple of ones recently where there's, like, a huge chunk of, like, Stormcast or, like, Iron Jaws, for instance. There's usually a lot of Iron Jaws at events. So the fact that they've got, like, a lot of...
In BC. Yeah. But it's true. The Night Haunt have always been popular. Stormcast are easily the most popular faction in the game because they're in all the starter sets and blah blah blah. Yeah. Iron Jaws. Like, there's a lot of very popular factions that you're going to constantly see. So yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, so I wanted to like kind of take a look at that and just kind of talk it over. I like that there are like Sylvaneth, Deepkin, Night Haunt, Blades of Corn are all sitting right in the 50% zone. That's amazing and awesome.
They just need to nerf for Dogs of Cain, add 100 points to Marathi, add 10 points to the Bow Snakes. That'll be fine. Doesn't affect it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really I don't know enough about Daughters to, like, I know you're being...
They didn't do anything. Like if you go down to some of the
I
changes,
think that's crazy. Yeah, they're higher
some of the changes
win
are just
rate
weird.
than
So
Seraphon.
weird.
And like August 23rd, so that's like right after the last. No. When was the last Battlescroll? Oh, no, it was like a month before that, right?
Because
Was it?
it'll also be interesting to see how many of those percentage win rate is with Cronspine and without Cronspine.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you look at tournaments over the
if it's
last 2
with
months,
Cronspine, it should be ignored.
yeah, because the top 10
Yeah.
out of most tournaments over the last 2 months, there's at least 3 or 4 Cronspines.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So anyway, it was interesting. I'm glad. So actually, first of all, thank you, GW, for providing this information. Any information you give us is great. We would like to see a little bit more, if possible. That would be wonderful. But it's cool that they're talking about as much as they are. Do we care?
So I would love them to embrace the community on it. I would love them to like talk to people like
well, but the problem though is
or
I don't know, dude.
People that do a lot of stats.
I don't know. I think you know who they should talk to are like TOs, and talk to like if they can, like the top performing people from each faction, and be like, hey, you know what I mean? That would be great, but maybe it's asking too much. I don't know. Like we're getting more than we ever used to, so
yeah.
Like, I want to be thankful.
You have an internalized group. Even the playtesters that they have, they're an internalized group that are playing against it and playing against each other and looking at it and discussing together. But then as soon as it gets to the bigger picture, then that's when people notice things that are missing and stuff. So it's kind of like
it's true, but you can't ask the community at large because like everyone.
There's a lot of idiots. Yeah.
Well. I was gonna be more diplomatic than that. I was gonna say like, you know, like I remember a long time ago I was chatting in a group and someone was saying that they should change the war scrolls and points based on the people that are playing it at the lowest level. And I was like, that makes zero sense. Because
I wouldn't necessarily mean like the YouTube people, Alex. It's more like, you know.
What's that?
There's Alex's comment. You know, there's a number of like very good and intelligent players out there that they could talk to, and you know they're on social media. People know who they are. Where you could just like you don't even have to listen to everything they say. It's just kind of like just listen to some of their feedback.
Yep, I mean,
because a lot of the time they're going to like you look at people like I don't know Dan Grind, what's his name, Gavin Griner and stuff like this in the US. That go to like pretty much a tournament every weekend or every other weekend. Like Jeremy Vesemir, for instance, you know, he's another one.
Yep.
Where there's these people that go to lots of different tournaments all over the place, and they have a lot of information and knowledge, you know. And
yeah, you know, by the way, Alex, that felt like a shot directed directly at us because we are talking knuckleheads.
It's like when you get these people online that ask about, you know, can you put all out attack on shooting on a Cronspine? You know, and then that has to get FAQ'd and it just wastes people time. Yeah, there's those sorts of people out there.
There have been some questions.
That's an Alex thing. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not. But before
so there's a whole joke thing online where Alex is the person that asked what, you know, because it was like we discussed ages ago. If you could put all that attack on Cronspine in a shooting phase, because Cronspine doesn't have a shooting attack, but he has an ability where if you put all that attack on him, everything else gets all that attack.
Yeah.
So, but they addressed that in the FAQs, and he got like on Hey Woe's kind of FAQ cover thing he does. Yeah. He has just got a screenshot of Alex saying, "Yeah, that was me."
Yeah. Well, Alex, for those that don't know, Alex has been doing that since before you even started playing the game, Dale. He's like literally been like, well, if I do this, and then minus this. Yeah, no, he is,
So Alex needs to get his YouTube channel back and get
he
his
does.
tactic videos going.
I've been telling him, but he's a busy guy. He's been working a lot of overtime lately. So, but that would be awesome, and we would definitely. He was Evil Flash. Oh yeah. That's right, because that was the picture that was on there. It's just played in all countries. They should pay a massive amount of call center time. Yeah, I mean, you know, even if you just like, even if it's not North America, like North America has a huge scene, which is I think why Dale and I are both like Dale is from the UK, so it's not like he's against talking to, you know, certain other countries, but the US is a great place to collect data from because they have a lot of tournaments, they have a lot of, you know, data, and then the UK is the other one. And like we're from Canada. We're from Canada. No one ever pays attention to us. So like I get it. But that like it is what it is. Like, you know, so I'm fine with it. Anyway, do we care about like their whole like I don't think we want to read.
No, we're just going down to some of the actual
Okay. So okay, I'll bring it up.
I will try not to be too gripey.
I don't know. Yeah. I won't recognize if you're not gripey enough.
It's the whole balance thing is just kind of like they spent a month writing this or doing this. As far as we know, it could be longer than a month. But it's kind of something like 4 people around a coffee table could have done this in 2 hours. Because most of it is, drop it by 20 points. Up and down by 20 points.
You know what though? They are a big like company. And so bureaucracy and committees and like kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll get on with the whole deal here. Do you guys let me know in the chat? Do you want me to zoom in more? I actually made.
If you can, so I can't actually see.
I made our bobbleheads smaller so I could do that ahead of time.
Maybe I'll just bring it up. Because the problem, I mean, they can do it. The problem I have is if I do it, I can't see the chat then. So I'm going to see if I have this downloaded.
So you guys let me know if you want it bigger or you like it the way it is. Okay? I'm not going to make it any smaller. Awooga.
Or just go to AoS FAQs and download it. You can look at it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I'm going to read it out mostly if there are changes. I'm not going to read out stuff that's already the same, like the Seraphon change. But I guess we'll start off. So the Purple Sun got an adjustment in between battle scrolls, right?
Yeah.
I forget when it got a change, but it is listed on here, so I will cover it because it's in magenta, okay?
Yeah.
The Purple Sun, the change given form ability was changed to subtract 1 from save rolls while they're within 6 inches. So that's the same. In addition, roll a dice for each unit within 1 inch, so not 3 inches now. And on a 1, they've been touched by the Purple Sun's rays. If they have a wound characteristic of 9 or less, poof, they're gone. Otherwise, that unit suffers D6 plus 6 mortal wounds. I think everyone's pretty happy with it. They also changed the points to 90 points. And you're not really seeing it anymore. And I mean, you're still seeing it occasionally, but I actually thought it was a pretty good change overall. I kind of wish that they had left the points the way they were. I prefer smaller changes, for better and for worse. I actually just like smaller changes because it's a way that you don't get stuff kind of out of control as fast. But yes. Okay. So, by the way, let me know, guys. No one said anything, so I'm just rocking it with the way it is.
Let's go. So the Stormcast Eternals. This was also the same, I believe, as was from the previous one.
Yeah.
So a lot of these
it's not
were carried over,
right? So I think all of these are because now we go down to Beasts of Chaos.
Because they only want to do one of these scrolls active at a time.
Yes.
So what they've done is ones that have happened in between or from the previous ones have been pulled over to cancel. So this is why the Seraphon one, the -1 damage, is no longer on Sora's Cross. This is also stuff they've added this in to it's on the same with the Living City, so we can skip over those.
Yeah.
I think only the ones that are new are the ones that are kind of in
magenta.
Yeah.
So Beasts of Chaos, change the Primal Roar Monstrous Rampage from White Dwarf issue 473 to roll a dice. On a 3+, you receive 1 primordial call point.
Yeah, so supposedly they were racking up, like, if you keep getting that 6, you could get a lot more summon points quicker.
Oh, okay.
So they've kind of just, like, standardized it where it's just like a 3 on that.
That makes sense. I think that's probably a good thing. It's a little more reliable and less swingy. Sweet. Okay. Next change is Gloomspite Gets. Yay! Hopefully you're watching this, Dan. I know you already know what it is, but add the following to the notes section of the Arachnarok Spider with Spider-Fang War Party Pitch Battle Profile. Battle line, if General is Spider-Fang, awesome. Not perfect. Okay? Perfect would be add it to the Spider-Fang War Party, the Spider-Fang Flinger, and ideally the Skitter Strand, but I get it because they also anyway. We'll talk about that later. So that's a big change, and it's really fun. And finally, there are 2 battle line now for Spider-Fang for Forest Goblins. That's really cool. I love it.
The Crow Boys one is a good one, which is the Swamp Caller Shaman with the pot.
Finally, so they are actually,
So you can now cast. So basically, for those that didn't know, is you basically couldn't cast your spells if you wanted to use the poison elixirs.
Yes.
So now that they can, they just remit a bit where you just have to choose. So that's great. It means they can cast spells and do their poison now. So they're a great.
What's crazy too is it wasn't like if you were going to apply the poison, then. Or any of the elixirs. There's another elixir that no one uses, and I forget what it is. I forget what it does. I think it's like +1 to your save or something silly. It was you can't cast any spells. So if you had like the Arcane Tome, you don't get to. It's not like -1 from your casting. So it was pretty rough. You could always dispel. So, but you couldn't cast. So this is a huge change.
Speaking of which, the Arcane Tome, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. That was
a lot of people were going to this expecting it to get hit like the Amulet of Destiny had because it's in a lot of lists.
I'm not gonna lie, I did. I mean, I think everyone was bringing it up. Another thing that didn't get changed was bounty hunters that a lot of people expected. I know a lot of people like it. I would prefer +1 to hit and wound rather than +1 damage, just because it affects more armies than others.
Or someone said to me at the Masters, what about if bounty hunters units could only be Galician veteran units?
Yes.
Because then it gives you more reason to take Gallivets versus Gallivets.
Yep.
Because now it's only them that can have it.
Yep. That's actually the way I thought it was when it originally came out, and then I read it again and I was like, wait a minute. Ooh, that's really good. So, okay. Moving on.
When you outline trees with bounty hunters, it's just such a stupid thing.
Or anything, really. Like Stegodons, Turtles, Storm Fiends. Even, like, Storm Fiends aren't great, like, in combat, but, like, I don't know, it's just like any time that you have +1 damage against something and they don't have it against you, you're like, okay, this is pretty dope. Anyway, so those are the only changes, and now it's all points. Okay.
Which is when we get to the ±20 points part of the thing.
So I don't think we really want to go through everything.
No, so I'll go through some of them briefly. So like Cities of Sigma, no one cares. No one's going to use any of those still.
Nothing interesting.
None of them are any good.
Yeah.
Like, you may see the Dreadlord or Sorcerer Lord on Black Dragon, but to be honest, you won't. There's so much better stuff in that book. And also remember, like, every time a new order book comes out, Cities of Sigma get new options.
Yeah.
And they're just there. I just don't see any of those points doing anything useful for Cities of Sigma.
It's true.
Yeah.
Seraphon, pretty big changes. Engine of the Gods +20 points.
Yeah.
I think that one's warranted.
So again, they did, Engine of God, I think it's still too cheap for 285. I think it should be at least 315 or something, because it's a super solid piece.
I don't know. It's so swingy, depending on what you get, and it comes with the tax of having to paint up some of the ugliest models in the game.
But if you look at the
I
kind
don't
of
really care.
combo you have there, that's the four things that you would see in the majority of Seraphon lists, with or without Croak. Would be the Engine of the Gods, the Astrolith Bearer, the Skink Priest, and then Croak or Aslan.
The Astrolith Bearer, you see him and you don't. He does give the 6-up
Most
forward.
ones I see at tournaments now have the Astrolith Bearer if they're
I've
doing
had
well.
him painted since before I started the channel,
Yeah.
and I haven't even used it. I think I've used him once. I think he's, I think it's too much now just to get +1 to cast. Like,
Yeah, well now, yeah, like because your combination there, like I remember, so the list that Stark won the Pacific Northwest Masters with, went up nearly 200 points because 80 of that was Kronspine, which we'll get to later, but he also had all of that stuff in as well. So everything gets hit. So you're suddenly gone from like, oh, I need to drop an endless spell to fit this in, to this is like a whole unit, nearly 2 units.
Yeah, I think it's way too much of an adjustment, especially if you consider that other armies that were better, doing way better, didn't get hit nearly as much. But
the problem Seraphon had was Kronspine. Like the ability is, there's a lot of armies where adding Kronspine took away.
I don't think you can adjust models based on Kronspine. Like I think this
is the
terrible
problem.
idea.
So, so what they did is they just kind of hit Seraphon with a load of points increases. And hit Kronspine, but then it's like, okay, well, people will decide to stop taking Kronspine, or they'll just stop using Seraphon, and they'll go and use another arm.
That's what's going to happen. They're just going to stop using Seraphon at this point, just because like 120 points for 4-wound hero on a 6-up, like nah.
And they will. And what they'll do is
you can kill it with a fart. You know,
someone on Twitter posted up today that they should just for the next 2 months get no one to play Seraphon, or just go to tournaments and 0-5 with them. Just so then there's like a complete Seraphon's in a complete revamp. Just because I just think a lot of people are just going to be like, okay, I'm just not going to play my Seraphon for a couple of months.
That's what's going to happen, and I feel bad for the people who are just the Seraphon stands. Like I hardly ever get to take them out. When I do, I often bring a Dreadsaurian, so it's not like I'm playing competitively in any way, shape, or form. I don't care. I just like the army because I've liked them since they first came out in like 1995 or whatever it was. So,
but like again, you see the Saurus Allblood and the Troglodon went down 20 points. Not enough to make people want to take.
Not even.
They should have been
freaking close. Not even close. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's insane.
I would have made the Saurus Allblood like 200 points. And the Skink, Oracle, and Troglodyte like 180, 190, because
it was anyway.
Neither of them are great.
Yes, no, they're both. It's man. Anyway, okay. I'm just so frustrated. I don't even own the Troglodon. I want to buy one and paint one just because I love the model. But it is what it is. Okay.
Okay, Stormcast got interesting.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
The fact that 2 dragons went down 50 points is me. That's
Which one? Wait, which one is? The 2 dragons. The 2 dragons. I thought you meant like the Stormdrake Guard.
No,
Karazai. I think Karazai and Krondys are interesting at 550. Like
I've played against them both.
Yeah.
In one army, and they're scary, but you can also
you can't take 2 in one army. I think. Yeah. That's a meme army. That's a fun army, and bless whoever did that. But Rob Taunts brought in the Zeech versus Stormcast list, our game, he brought Krondys. And Krondys is cool. But dang, Eric was his spellcasting was on fire.
Krondys versus Horde armies is brutal.
It was just his magic casting. It was just like, oh, do you want mortal wounds? Because I've got mortal wounds. And
I mean, so like Vanquish is going down to 110 points. It's actually kind of interesting now because before a Power Save 5 model unit, and they can actually churn out some damage. So if you don't want to take Liberators, you can take these guys now. They're a good little thing.
So Vanquishers are the spear guys?
No, they're the kind of the newer Stormcast that have the great swords.
Right.
But they're in the skinny new armor.
Wow,
so they have
that's cool.
Instead of a 5
because of that. And by the way, they're not battle line.
Yeah, and they also have a natural 5-up rally.
Oh man, that's so good.
On them themselves.
That's so good.
Yeah, you could take like 10 of those or something.
Wow.
kind of a hitting screen, because again, they get depending on how many models are in the enemy unit, or if I get it in AoE, you get an additional attack.
Man, them in bounty hunters? Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. You love it. Cool. Aventus Firestrike? Wow.
He's a cool
40 points!
hero.
40 points down. That's crazy.
Yeah, because he also has that fun ability that if a model dies within range when it takes the last wound, it comes back to life or something. So if you have a dragon die, or if you have what's his name, Shaft,
he's a complicated man.
He's suddenly back alive again.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that people don't mention. So when Eric said in our local group, Aventus at 270 is really interesting, and I was like, I have never played against him. I think the only person I know that owns that model is, I think, Rob Taunts, the true Stormcast stan of our group, and he. And I was like, I have no idea what he does. So I looked him up. He's a double caster, and he has the ability where you can bring people back. It only disqualifies one wound, essentially.
Yeah.
But still, it's like if someone just dies, it's like, bam, he's alive, and then you can heal him up. But the thing that no one talks about is he has an ability where, for free, like it's not a command point or anything, he can just give +1 to hit to anything within 3 inches. Not wholly within, obviously, just within. But you put him next to 2 units that you charge in, and everyone's +1 to hit. Like, that is solid. And he's a double caster on like 14 wounds on a 3-up or something like that, or I think it is. No, he's strong. I think we're gonna start seeing him. I hope so.
Yeah, he's one model I'm gonna see if I can print or get my hands on at some point, because I would like to try having him in with my the infantry list I have.
The only reason I don't think we were seeing him before was because I don't personally think that the face of the mount is great. It's a little weird.
I mean, he was 310 points, and for 300 points you could get Shaft.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And by Shaft you mean Bastion.
Yeah.
He's a complicated Stormcast. I do know those sword models. I didn't even realize that you bought them, Alex. Rob's been rocking them like from day one. Like they're cool and they look cool, but yeah, I'm not sure that. I think they were not quite worth it, and I think they're definitely worth it now. In the new book, they nerfed the generic Terralon down to a single caster. What? Did they really? Oh.
And Alex, do you mean by his Hammer Sigma keyword, so he's only really good in Hammer Sigma?
That's true. That is actually a big deal. I should have mentioned that. The crazy thing is I knew that because Eric mentioned it. Literally, like said, the problem with him is blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he's cool. Knight Relictor down 20
You'll
points.
never see him. He's terrible.
Yeah, that's fair. Idrasta, though, you'll see her.
Yeah,
you'll see her.
Good.
Yeah, that's like...
I use her.
That's like what?
A great piece.
Oh, yeah. And in certain builds, she's strong. Yeah. We already talked about the dragons. I think they're really interesting now.
Annihilator's going down 20.
That's crazy.
Cool.
I think
Praetors is really good because
I don't know why Annihilators are going down. They were never bad. They were always being taken. Like, what's the deal?
Well, I mean, people usually take the chariots or the dragons or
interesting
layers. So they just weren't really being used much, and now it gives you an extra little bit of spicy reason to take them.
I don't get it, but hey.
There's like Praetors as well. Praetors for 145 points are a cool little unit that can ignore wounds on a 5 or a 6 when they transfer over.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is pretty, it's a very cool bounty hunter, not bounty hunter thing, bodyguard thing. And they have I think they're 3 attacks, they have damage 2, rend 1, 3 wounds each. I think they're 3 up armor save as well.
And they're
solid
they're also not battle line, and they can be in bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Vigilers.
I'm kind of sad I sold mine off because I would kind of like to have stuck 3 of them in just to kind of bodyguard my heroes.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the whole reason why you take Spirit Host, so I can see that.
Yeah.
Vigilers are down 25, so that's cool. Beasts of Chaos, moving on to them. Cockatrice plus 15 points. It's about time. I don't know why this didn't happen a long time ago.
Cockatrice spam.
I don't know why.
Usually, a lot of lists you see 4 to 6 cockatrices.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's like a list I think that was out there, like it's like 18 cockatrices or something stupid. It's like what the crap. Dragon ogres, I guess they were doing well. I didn't know. Um, if anyone has
Well, I
any
know. I think like Matt Beasley was running 2 units of 6 of them in his Zinch list.
well, if Matt Beasley was running it, then it should be nerfed. That's all.
Yeah, I think the thing about them is they're like a solid
Love you, Matt.
pile of wounds. Because I think they're like 6 or 7 wounds each. I think. So like for their points,
Yeah.
they were like a big meat shield.
Could you rally them on a 4-up? Like, no, right?
It depends, because some scenarios I think there is
No,
a scenario
not that.
can-
So, well, they're never going to be Galatian veterans.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
But like, because
Again,
like,
I
with the
probably
Herdstone is how that they do that. But I don't know which ones can and which ones can't. Maybe that's what it is. Alex also bought Vigilers. Attaboy, Alex. Spend
Well,
your
again,
money.
Vigilers, we didn't really touch on this, but they're a cool little, like, I think 18-inch range, rend 1 damage shot. It's like, they're like nice little
What are we talking about?
Vigilers.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, those stuff, they offer some,
I
cheaper,
can't-
cheaper alternatives.
I can't keep track of GW's silly naming conventions.
Oh.
It's-
Also, Stormcast have like 50 odd units.
And they
so
all
it's like-
sound the same.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
Space Marines, but different. I mean, some of the names are actually the same as them. Anyway, so that was interesting. Hedonites got a little bit of a bump.
I don't think it helps so much. Maybe Demonet's going down 20, but like,
All I care is that Slangor Fiend Bloods went down because those models are fire, and I think that they should be included in the new Beasts of Chaos thing. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't be. Make it happen. Yeah, I don't know. Like, no one's gonna bring Glutos at -30. Like, this is so inexplicable to me. Like, Aventus, like, I get it. He's not perfect.
well, that's why
There's a
I'm
few
saying,
things,
like,
but,
a lot of the things where it's like, oh, well, knock it 20 points down and it'll be good. It's like, no, it won't be.
I mean, he's 30 points, but still, like, he's already,
Yeah.
he was 470 before. Like, I don't even know what that guy does, but I bet you it's not
You
worth
look at
500
what
points.
he does for 440 in comparison to Croak or Fangcall that are around the same points.
Yeah,
And, yeah,
I would rather have,
chalk and cheese.
I would rather have Thankful than either one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. Lord of, and I mean, and Skaven are like below the 50% mark, so
Yeah.
it's not like, anyway. Maggotkin, so this is interesting. Lord of Afflictions, +20. Blobe Rot Spawn, that's like the really old model, I think, with the weird maw mouth thing that, like, he's got it mounted.
Faith Glow Up and is one of the, he's
Yeah.
like a mounted.
Yeah, Nurgle guy with the
Yeah.
like the maw-looking face on the
It's
mount.
pretty cool. I
It's
think
a
he was
great.
pretty good.
It is. It's not perfect like when you see it in person, But and then the Demon Spew is the other version of that, I think.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Pusquell Blightlord's going up by 30. That makes sense because they were everywhere.
Yeah, so basically it just means if you're running the fly list, you're probably going to be down 2 flies.
Yep, fair enough. Like, that's fair.
Which, I mean, there was a super solid, tanky, had the extra movement and stuff. So yeah, they're a good unit.
Yeah.
Knocking 2 flies out the list, we'll see what it does.
We'll see. I mean, I think the idea of these things is so that you're not just running them. Like, it's just to kind of add a little more variety. It's like you're not spamming stuff. And I don't want to see them over nerf, especially models that are really cool looking. Like those Pusquell Blightlords are really cool, and I'm not even into Maggotkin at all. Okay, so then Skaven Doomwheel -20.
Should have been Battle Line.
Yes, it should have been Battle Line.
Battle Line if class
They didn't do it. They didn't like actually like make a new battle tome like when they produced Skaven. They were just like, we'll just fiddle around with things here. The Doom Wheel, like, this is back to where it used to be, so you might see one every now and again. I don't know. Like, the problem is that, like, Doom Wheels are only good if you're doing the 3 Master Clan thing, but then when they nerfed that and said no fun, I don't think you're going to see it. Deathmaster, I think, is still overpriced. Lord Screech, same. Verminlord Corruptor, yeah, I mean, -10, I don't know. I don't think it's going to make any difference. -10
No, I mean,
on the Warp Seer is a joke.
It's kind of the thing. It's like they're already 350 and 360 points
Yeah.
with -10 to take them to that. It's like
Yeah.
what really?
Yeah,
So
you
like
think that's
if you
you
have
think
one or
that's
two of them, you
changing
just save
anything?
20 points.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like I don't know. They need to change like storm vermin. Like make some anyway. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for looking at Skaven and giving us some changes. I guess. Flesh Eater Corpse.
That's what I said. Some of these changes are just like
I know. I'm
what
trying to
was
be
even the
positive,
point?
and I am
Like,
thankful, Dale. I am thankful. We need to
I'm
remember.
not. I'm bitter, cold, and dark inside. This is so bad. I was so disappointed when this.
Why
came
aren't you?
out. Okay.
You should look at
Flesh Eater Corpse.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of Flesh Eater Corpse,
these came out,
yeah.
and it's not even the character versions. It's literally the
Yep.
ones you can just take by themselves.
And by the way, the like Royal Zombie Dragons are like, why are you ever bringing Royal Zombie Dragons in the Flesh Eater Court army?
So-
You're obviously going to bring Terror Guys.
So if you bring, if you took a couple of Royal Terror guys, you might now be able to fit in an Endless Spell or
Yeah.
maybe some ghouls.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, if you had a 2,000 point list before, you're taking Gristlegore and you have 3 battle line Terrorgeist, you can now also add Ravenix Gnashing Jaws. Woo! Or maybe get a Triumph.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Good job.
Hopefully they're getting a new book. That's what I'll say.
Okay, so
Ossiarch
just
Bone
not
Reapers,
even-
though? What's that?
Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Yeah.
They still can't use generic command abilities.
No,
so
but they
this
have
is-
their own. They have their own.
Yeah, but their own is so bad in comparison to what everyone else gets.
Not
now.
all of them. Like, re-rolling all saves in
Yeah, but not
combat?
being able to redeploy, not being able to rally, like.
Yeah, those are abilities. They just need a new book. It's the
Yeah.
same thing as
Yeah.
Flesh Eater Courts. Not really.
Which is why I'm just like, they're not even worth, like, you might
Yeah.
see
No, I
them
agree.
come out. I mean, realistically, in an arc, because, again, they're not doing the Mortar Guard aren't touched.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
So,
bless the people who are playing them right now because they're true fans, right? Like, I think when the book first came out, it was like one of the most powerful books we've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
bar none. OBR, First Daughter's book, and First Slanesh book. Like, just insane, right?
The thing I have with it is, it's just like, even by those changes there, you look at that over a 2,000 point army, and you maybe, like, if anything, you might be getting it's the same with the Gits when we get to the Gits.
Well-
You might be getting a 60 to 100 points back.
Yeah, there's...
Which realistically, what is that 60 to 100 points going to help you to be able to win your games?
Yeah, I could see it. I don't know. Yeah, they're not great, but it's better than nothing. It's kind of like the Skaven changes. It's like this isn't going to change anything. No one was taking these things.
My
But
dog is just sitting next to me and staring at me, and I've like tried to let her go out and stuff, and it's just like, I'm just gonna sit and look at you. I can't do anything for you.
that just means that you're going to give her more. Soulblight, Gravelords. So they got the same changes to the Terrorgeist and Zombie Dragons, which is no real surprise. The White King on Skeletal Steed, so you can still only buy him in the start collecting, right? And what's funny is the whole reason that you bought him before was to make Graveguard battle line, and now that's the last thing you want to do because then they're subject to bounty hunters, and so it's just like, okay, Bloodseeker Palaquin. I don't remember seeing that at all. 20 points off of Neferata, who is good. She is good.
She is,
It's still a
but everyone
joke.
just takes Manfred.
Everyone just takes Manfred, exactly. Now, if you're rocking Legion of Blood, you're doing some funky stuff in there, like, hey, you're like, well, that's great. Like, it's better than nothing. But again, yeah, just, I don't know, just make a few more changes elsewhere as well. Like, if you're going to make really small changes, make a change to Graveguard. Like, just knock off 5 or 10 points from Graveguard, and then it's like, oh, now I can, you know what I mean? I can really get in here. Anyway, Gloomspite gets, okay, this is where I know, this is where Dale slumps over, and this is where I go, yay! Because I haven't been beaten down by playing this army for the last 3 or 4 years. So shoot.
Okay, give me your take on the Gloomspite Gits, and then I'll give you my take.
Okay, so my take is going to be a little long, so feel free to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Shooters and stabbers are battle line. Their basic battle line. You can use them at everything. So 20 points and 10 points, I think is huge. I actually think it's a big deal. especially if you're playing
I would have made shooters 100 points and stabbers 120.
They're not.
Shooters are still terrible.
Here's what I'm going to say, though, Dale. That was never going to happen, and I'll tell you why, okay? Do you want to know why?
What?
So, Clan Rats, between Old Edition and New Edition, right? They went down like 20 or 40 points, and now they heal D3, and they got a better save, okay? So, until we get a new book, like, that was never going to happen, okay? They're never, because they want when the book to come out, they want hype, right? So, like, I knew that was a pipe dream. So,
but if you're wanting to, like,
I didn't think they were even going, but they don't care about that. They're throwing you us a bone, and they're battle line. So if you're taking like 200, if you've got 200 stabbers, then you've got like a whole other, you've got like whole other units now, right? So I think anytime it's battle line, it's actually it's a big deal. Maybe not as big as we want, but it's still a big deal. I think shooters, the best we could have hoped for was 110, and stabbers, the best we could have hoped for was 120. But yeah, we roll with those. You get even more gets in your list. Exactly. Jamesy gets it, right? So Mangler's down 25. No one cares. That doesn't matter.
Should it be? I like
literally at all. You're only going to take the leader. You're only taking the
problem with Mangler's Twigs, even with the leader,
yeah,
is he's 12 wounds on a 4-up armor save.
We have to get to that first. Yeah. He's further down the list, okay?
Yeah.
So Mangler Squigs, no one cares, right? Skitterstrand, this is actually pretty big. 160 points. I think it's 14 wounds, I believe, on whatever it is. It can deep strike. It's one of the few actual monsters that we have in the army. Sick model. This is, I think, pretty big. 160 points. It actually makes it really interesting. Dankhold Trogboss, no one cares. Scragrot, no one cares. Now, Scragrot is okay.
They could have just done one thing to make Scragrot amazing and kept him at 230 points.
What's that?
It's just give him the Warlord keyword.
So
he's always your general.
Always the general. Got it. Yeah.
And then all his abilities, because you can't take him if you want to do anything else as your general, because he only brings back normal gits.
Yeah.
Is give him the Warlord ability, and then that means all his stuff always works, and then he's great.
That's true, but they weren't going to do that because there's no new book. I'm sorry, Dale. I hate to be the. I've got him and I started him. Keith says if you have 200 stabbers on the table, I think what you have is a swordback. Yes, I have played over 200 rats at one point without movement trays, and I know this. And also like those fold-out tables that are super low to the ground, like the one that you guys see in the battle reports. Like I had it made higher, so you're not like bent at 90 degrees and a bunch of old men. But I have started him. He looks like crap on camera. Well, I will have him painted by the time the book comes out. So then we go on. So I think the Skitterstrand, I think that's exciting, and I think it's awesome. Scragrot, no one cares.
Yeah, I would like to try it. Yeah. I would like to try the Skitterstrand.
Loom Boss on Mangler Squigs is... I didn't think they were going to touch him. And as people will see in the battle report, the Path to Glory battle report, there's a funky little combo you can do where you give him Arcane Tome, which makes him a Moon Clan Wizard. And then you can give him the command trait, I think it's called like Sneaky Git or something like that, where you have to re-roll all successful hits against him. It makes him hard to kill, and it's super fun, and I do it, and lots of crazy things happen, okay? So that's all I'll say about that. I wanted more, as we always do, but 20 points, I didn't think they were even going to touch him, Dale. So I was pretty happy with this. Web Spinner Shaman and Arachnarok Spider, I think, is a great change. He's a monster. He has +1 to cast natively because he's always in range of himself. And if you add another Web Spinner Shaman, then you can actually, like, there's an 85-point version of him that is you can add pluses to cast and just have more guys casting spells. And you need lots of heroes in Gloomspite gets. And I'm painting one that I've converted as well. So I don't know if you can see him because like I just covered his base with spiders and him with spiders. So he's just got spiders crawling all over his base and him. Um, so, yes. So he's. I think it's interesting anyway. Custom table is low, signed, non-shorty. No, that's what I'm saying. Custom table is low. That's what I said, Alex. Like, it's too low. Wait, what do you mean? You mean my table? My table's not low. My table's literally taller than any other table out there. Like, what are you talking about? Yo, Sean. Welcome, buddy.
Spider Riders going down by 10 is actually not terrible because
Yes.
they're a 10 wound screen because you just have 5 models, so you can only have to be within
Yep.
one of the
They're
others.
not
And
subject to
they
bounty
can do a great
hunters.
little screen.
They're not
Also,
subject to bounty
probably
hunters.
if you go spiders, that's the cheapest battle line with 3 units at
Yep.
90 points.
It's 10 wounds, 90 points, 5 up
Yeah.
save, terrible stats, that all the way around.
Yeah.
But I do have a plan for them. I'm going to bring them in the next Path to Glory game when we jump it up to 1,000 points. So look forward to that. So yeah, I like them. I think 90 points are still too expensive, but like I didn't expect them to touch them, so I'm actually super excited. Also, they ignore terrain, so you can get them around. They're good for grabbing objectives, and again, they're not subject to bounty hunters, which is rare for a battle line unit. And then Squig Herd is like, I think that's the biggest deal. So if a lot of people like yourself are running Squig Herd as battle line. And now they're still subject to bounty hunters, and that's nothing we can do about that, right? But they're 2 wounds each. You can bring them back on a 4-up if near the Loon Shrine. You can, bring them back in general on a 4-up at the end of the turn. 20 points on a 20-man. So like they're 140 points for 20 wounds. Oh no, 24 wounds. 24 wounds. They have a terrible save, but they do stuff with battle shock.
It's almost tempting to. Okay, so my thing behind this is so the list I took to Kippers went down 80 points.
Okay, that's
So
significant.
With those 80 points, though, it's like, what am I supposed to get?
Another
to
endless
make-
spell,
I don't have any on spell, but yes, I could take an endless spell, but then there's
or
the whole Kronspine thing.
or you change
But,
like
like-
one thing out, like you take
Yeah.
out an endless spell and you add an Arachnarok. Or
Yeah,
Skitter's
but it's
Friend.
just like, it's not necessarily enough. One thing I just had a thought about just now is
Okay.
what I could do is, because yeah, the Squid going down 20 points is great. It's just, yes, bounty hunters is still an issue. What I could do
Ooh.
is you wouldn't get anything back in terms of summoning back from the Loon Shrine, but I never do anyway because I think I've maybe got 1 unit back in like 50 games or something. I just rolled bad for that all the time. Is take a Spider General, a cheapest one possible,
Yeah.
that's going to hide behind the Loon Shrine and not do anything,
Yeah.
and then take 3 units of the Spider Riders as your bare minimum battle line.
Yep.
And then I take the 2 units of 24 Squigs, and then the 2 units of 6 Troggoths still.
That's what my list is actually. I was
And
gonna
then,
send it to you.
but then because they're
That's
not,
exactly what my
then
list
the
is.
only things in your army.
And Dobbin.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So it means that the only you wouldn't get the expert conquerors because your guys in the Grecian veterans.
But who cares?
But yeah, you still now have 48 wounds of Squigs, which are not getting 2 damage per hit from bounty hunters.
That's
So
exactly.
it's
my
an
list.
interesting workaround. I'd have to have a look at it and see if I could make that work. But yeah, it'd be
That's-
interesting.
That's my
You're
plan.
basically taking a tax of. What's it?
I think the web spinner shaman on Giant Ragnarok is a cool and viable. Also, you can give him the spider totem artifact,
Yeah.
and so then everything's doing mortal wounds on 5s instead of 6s, even if they're not in the light of the bad moon. Keith Rogers still does say, he says, Skeeter Strand has some of the most horrifying fluff in AoS. A spider that size who does trapdoor spider stuff to get prey, except the trapdoor is making its own realm gate and you are the prey. Yes, I love it. Dang it, I should have, I should have had that. Alex sent this, this cartoon, and it's like this guy saying like, hey, don't kill spiders because they kill all the other bugs, you know, that you don't want in your house. And I was reading it and I was like, that's me, because like I say that all the time, right? I never kill spiders. And then there's this like then the next part of the cartoon is like this giant spider like behind this guy or whatever. And it's so funny. And I was like, that's also me because I don't kill any of the spiders and they get super big in my basement. So we have not talked the tree changes yet, Sean.
Yeah, so we're not going through the FAQs.
Well, we should have though. I should have had it ready.
You think?
So, yeah, why don't you talk about?
Well, I mean,
I should talk about
that one FAQ. It's the only one probably worth talking about.
Well, no, there's two things we're talking about in the Sylvaneth FAQ.
Okay.
One is the casting thing.
Yeah.
Now, do you understand that?
Yes, so because I had it done to me.
Like Eric explained it to me, but I was just like,
yeah.
Anyway.
So I had that done to me. So basically, you can no longer cast the Sylvaneth Endless spells through the trees anymore.
Well, you can. You have to pick a tree.
Yeah.
But like, I don't. Wait, what's the difference? Wasn't it before? Was it overgrown terrain and the trees?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so before it was like maybe Sean, maybe you can sort us out. Sorry, I meant to have it ready.
I know the big one striking the other one was we can talk about first while someone looks.
This is
strike and fade now happens after other stuff.
After you remove the model.
Yeah.
And the reason that matters is because Death Frenzy, Cobra Kai, and like
Stormcast blowing up,
and Man Crushers, and a bunch of other stuff happens then. Yeah. So before, according to the rules, you could strike and fade, and none of that stuff would happen. A lot of people were already playing it this way because it was just like, oh come on, let me do my thing. Like this is my, one of my few things. But they just made it part of the rules. I actually think it's a great change because, I feel like everyone should get to use their rules anytime. Yeah, you're just like.
So in the Pacific Northwest, it was actually the kind of FAQ ruling of it was you didn't. You faded before they got to do it. Well, so this is kind of like a nice change back from that because I didn't like that ruling, but it was like, whatever. It's how people are choosing it.
It wasn't the ruling originally. It wasn't the ruling originally, but then it was our own group member Eric who went through the rules like one by one and like literally pointed out according to the rules, it actually happens before Death Frenzy, etc. So.
The games website don't listen to their rules.
Well, no, a lot of people didn't understand.
Someone actually tried to discuss it with them on either Twitter or Facebook. They actually went through the step process and they just didn't listen.
You know what I did? I did email them about this, and I don't normally do that anymore because they never seem to answer my questions. I guess it's because I like lay out everything. Like I asked a question about something else, and it never got touched. Welcome, Rogue Ape. That is an amazing name. I love it, and I would steal it, but I already have my own name. So I sent in this question, and I didn't say like, hey, I want you to rule it one way or the other. I just said, you guys need to address this, and hopefully you need to address it soon because it's causing a lot of consternation throughout all the different tournament scenes. Because, like, according to your own rules, you don't get to do that, right? So anything bigger than a single tree, you now need to pick one of the trees to be the point to, I guess, to sling the spells from.
Yeah, I think you could pick the whole thing before.
Oh,
so you could
like
get this giant
bubble. Got it. I see. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I like it. Doomwheel's down 20, not bad. Romulan, yeah, I agree, but I still don't think you're gonna see them unless they, I don't know. I think I would love it if they made some serious changes to the Doomwheel in general. and or made it battle line, as Dale said. Why didn't they make it battle line? Like, per Scryer Wizard, you get... No one cares about Acolytes. Anyway, so those are the general things for that. And now I guess we'll move on to the Orc War Clan changes, or, you know, a little more accurate might just be the Cruel Boys changes. So we already know that the Shaman can now cast spells, in addition to making the Venom go to a 5-up from a 6. Beast Skewer Killbow, I think they finally got this thing. Like, I love the model, so I was just bringing it, even when it wasn't doing anything. Like, I'm facing, like, if you're facing Nighthaunt, I still brought it. It's just the worst thing ever. But at, like, 110 points, I think we're finally in a spot where you can bring them and not feel like a dummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or, you know, or just pray for giants, right? Yeah, I'd rather it just got retreat and charge. That would be great. Or better yet, cost 200 points and got the trample ability. Like, yeah, these are all good ideas. Yeah, these are everything. All of these are better than what it is. But hey, like, again, 20 points out of those the Skaven changes was the only really meaningful thing. Anyway, Gut Rippers. Gut Rippers down 20 points again. I think is a big deal, because they are universal Cruel Boys battle line, and they're still suffering from bounty hunters, and they can't get away from that. But we were already paying the tax of Gut Rippers before, so like, it's just like, hey, this is great. I think they should. Now, I don't think we can, like, we don't want to frame stuff through the Incarnate, through Kronspine. I also don't think we should frame it through bounty hunters, because bounty hunters will change, right? Hopefully in like a month or so, right? So I think 160 points is around what we should be paying. Maybe 100, maybe like 10 points less, but I actually think it's pretty good. And you know, it'll be a big difference once bounty hunters is gone. Kill a Boss and Great Gnash Tooth is really cool. This guy has a great ability where he really helps Battle Shock. So I'm a big fan of him. I think at 150 points, I think he's really interesting, and I'm going to try and fit him in more lists. Wurgog Prophet. Which one is he? Is he the Iron Jaws guy?
He's the Bone Splitter one that can do the D3 wounds and keep doing it.
Yeah, that's right. And then if you give him he can take an artifact that only he can take, where on a 4-up, he doesn't take them. He gets a 4-up ward against mortal wounds. Yeah.
I played against 2 of those. Yeah. Against Bear at the Masters, and oh my god, that is horrible.
They're horrible and horrifying.
Deleted like 750 points worth of stuff.
It's so cool. Like, I actually love it. I have to admit, I love it. If you play against Andy, it's like terrible, because he just doesn't roll it well. Yeah. so he just kills himself, and you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. But if you play against Hillary, who's known to roll really well for that guy for some reason, he'll take out like your whole freaking army with that guy. It's crazy. Yeah. So that's plus 20 points. That's probably a good idea. Gobsprak, the Mouth of Mork, minus 20 points. I don't know. He's still on a 5-up or whatever he's on.
I think it still doesn't help the fact of like their sneaky tactic stuff is still like, I think it's a random roll at the start of the game.
No, it's not. It's not a random roll.
Is it?
You mean the dirty tricks?
Yeah, dirty tricks.
Yeah, it's just like, well, so it's, you pick which one it is.
Yeah.
But then to do it, it's on a 4-up for most of them, and it's so I might roll none. This entire like page of allegiance ability, it might just be nothing. Yeah.
So it should either be a 2+ or just get it.
But Gobsprak is the Mouth of Mork. He should have pluses to cast, and he should have even more to unbind. Or he should be able to do the 3d6 thing once per turn. Like, give him something, make him interesting. Yeah. He's a lore master, but without pluses to cast, like, get him out of here. Name character? Are you joking? The Killaboss on Corpse... excuse me. On Corpse Ripa Vulcha is, like, something that you were seeing in Big Wa. In competitive lists. So it's interesting that he went down. Yeah. And Snatch a Boss on Sledgeraker Beast, he's like one of the better units in KB. So that's a pretty big change. Swamp Boss is the named character version. Who cares? I don't know. I just don't really care about that. Savage Big Stabas and Savage Boar Boy, the Savage... What are they? Savage Orcs?
Yeah.
Yeah, Savage Orcs, they went up a little bit. I don't think this was necessary. I don't play the army at all. I only have friends who do, and
basically it's just the big stabber spam people were doing.
Yeah, but like
they're just because you're having fun.
Yeah,
you're having
it's
fun,
true.
Rob.
Yeah, it's fun
so
to
they
detect.
detected you were having fun.
Yeah, I wasn't having fun. GW, why'd you touch it? I had no fun with them.
So the War got profits. Like for instance, the game I played against Bear, he had 2 War God Dog profits.
Yeah.
And then he had, I think he had 2, 4, 6 times 2, because they're 2s, aren't they? But he had I think he had 3, 6, 2, 4, 6 bases of stabbers.
Yeah.
So that's 120 points. And then his Warcock profits are now another 40 points. And he had 2 units of the Maniacs as well. So his army's just gone up nearly 160 points. Yep. Because you were having fun.
Yeah. I mean,
again,
he's also bringing 200 models. They weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, by the way, sorry, I didn't see your comment, Sean. It says the Magic build kind of got a kick in the crotch.
Oh, yeah, Kronspine too, so that's another 80 points.
That's true. He's referring to Sylvaneth. And yes, I know Eric was playing the triple caster, what's the flute guy called? Warsong Revenant. And he's there's not much point now. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it gets changed. Yeah, it is what it is. Moving right along, as you just mentioned, Kronspine Incarnate of Gur up 80 points. Okay, use your words, Dale. Not just facial expressions.
So, perfect example. Pacific North Masters was 2 weeks. First, second, and third place all had Kronspine.
Yep. Although, not at top table. You were at top table.
Yeah, but one of them, So I was 4th with that Kronspine. You add on 80 points to the Kronspine.
Yeah.
And that maybe means they have to drop an endless spell or something small. It's still not going to take away the fact that this unit is going to still superpower through a lot of armies or be a huge thing for a lot of people to deal with.
Okay.
I think you might see it slightly decrease, but in honesty, I've noticed it starting to decrease in tournaments anyway because you get a lot of abuse from taking a Kronspine now. I also know a lot of events have started banning it.
Okay.
Just because it has such a kind of it's had such an effect on. It's probably the biggest thing to have an effect on a season we've ever had. I've never seen something come out and have such a huge impact to the top.
I disagree.
8 spots.
I disagree. I think Bounty Hunters does, but it's a different thing. It's not a unit.
Yeah, but a lot of the armies that do really well with or without Bounty Hunters because there's a lot of armies that just don't have any. I think I went against 3 armies at Kippers that didn't have any Galician veteran units in.
Jeez.
So Bounty Hunters mean sod all.
But by the same token, if you don't have Galatian veterans at all, then you can't do a lot of the. Actually, but
they don't need to destroy your army anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or they have their own book ones,
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
I think some armies it's going to impact. So, for instance, as I was saying, Seraphon. So Stark's army went up nearly 200 points. So that is going to have an impact. He's either got to drop the Kronspine to take into fact and then take something different to cover that.
Nope,
or
that's not what he's doing, Dale. Yeah, he's just not going to play Seraphon.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's just not going to play Seraphon. Because he's looking at other armies.
Yeah, I mean, if Kron, like I've never played Kronspine. I bought a Dreadmaw that I was gonna like convert into one so that it can become whatever incarnate, just for funsy stuff. Like hopefully the next the next incarnate is not quite so overcranked. I agree. So okay, what is your solution? Like, let's not just be part of the problem. Let's be part of the solution, Dale. What do you think is the way to turn it over so it's just at the spot where people, where it's in like 10% of the list or whatever GW said their aim was?
So I've heard a couple of like my one would be make it. You can't use it in match play, but let's not talk about that because that's like in competitive.
It's another pipe
only
dream.
have it for fun things.
Yeah, it's only a.
A good one I heard was if you kill the person who is bound to it, it should go down a level.
Oh.
Because then it takes away a lot of the suicide lists you see where they put it on like a fungoid shaman, not fungoid shaman, a mooncap shaman,
Ooh.
and they just want the mooncap, or they kill the mooncap shaman, turn one with their own endless spell or something, and now they have this wild running,
Wow.
with no negatives to it. Because at the minute, there's no real negatives to killing it, apart from, it can attack your own army, but unless you deploy badly turn one,
unless you literally charge into it, you're like, okay.
It's not going to happen. Also, like, there's also a thing as well of people killing their own bound person, because then you can eat your own endless spells to make him level up. Which is also kind of a dumb, dumb thing.
Say that again?
So when you kill the person that's bound,
yeah,
endless spells are now seen as being enemy endless spells.
Oh, on your own team.
Yeah.
I see.
So you can eat your own endless spells.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's like a trick.
Yeah.
Actually, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't that something that like Matthias came up with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it quite a few places. I've seen it in the Gits where you bind him to the Madcap Shaman, you kill the Madcap Shaman turn one after throwing out a 5 or 6 point endless spell, and then Kronspine runs up and eats the endless spell and levels up and now is level 3 with the +1 to hit and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, having something where the two good ones I heard is one is if the person that is bound to him dies, you instantly drop a level.
Love it.
Is one.
Yeah, love it. And then you can kill it
because then it
turn.
gives you more reason to have something that's going to be survivable.
Yeah.
But then it's also like if you kill that person and you're already going down a level this turn because it's taking damage, you kill him, it drops a level, and then it's gone in one turn. The second suggestion I heard was remove the ability to remove the wounds. So say if I do 10 wounds to it and the Kronspine doesn't de-level, those 10 wounds stay on it.
Oh, that's cool.
And then when it de-levels, then the wounds are reset.
You know what though? Like it's already like the war scroll for it is already like a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Like way too complicated. I think if anything, they should have rewritten it, made it way simpler, and possibly add in a lot of what you're talking about here. And like Braden said, make it 525 points.
Well, the rumors was it was going to be up 160.
Yeah.
So it was going to be 560 points.
I mean,
which considering what it does, that's still,
Yeah. So it went up 80 points to 480, and the rumor it was going to be 560, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, I think you're seeing less of them now, mainly because, like, they're kind of frowned upon more nowadays.
Yeah, it's
a lot of people just look at if you've got a Kronspine, it's like, yeah, whatever, you've got a Kronspine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you won with a Kronspine, cool, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad because if you win a tournament, you're still beating other people with Kronspine. Like, it's still a big deal. Yeah. You can't win a tournament and not have skill. It's just not possible. But yeah, it's a bit of a social pariah thing. I mean, what's kind of cool about this game is that stuff matters. Like I used to be really into. I mean, I'm not totally out of it, but I used to be really into esports, like pro fighting game scene stuff, and there's a little bit of that. And you're definitely if you were using a character that was weak or it was kind of like a You know what I mean? Like, so you didn't see that often. You would gain more fans from it, but like there was no like social contract involved at all, right? Like you get matched up with someone online who's using, you know, whatever was good at the time. Like no one, it's not going to change anything. You're not going to stop taking it because it, you know, it's frowned upon or whatever. They don't care. So it's kind of a cool aspect of our community. Anyway, I too would have liked to see a little bit, like I am for small changes. I just think that Kronspine was so overwhelmingly a part of it, right?
And I think a lot of the thing with the Kronspine as well is he has 2 pages of.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not even like 2
like,
full pages.
The reason I originally didn't want to get into him was that was one of the reasons. One was because he came in that stupid big box set, and I already had most of the terrain in there. The other reason was because, like, I was looking at his war scroll, and I'm just like, ugh, this is a headache. Like, I want to have fun, and I like that. I think the Kronspine is not fun to play with, and it's not fun to play against, and it's just like this triple whammy of awful.
Even Matthias, after Kipper's sword on the 31 that we're back, was like, I don't want to use this.
Right?
And unfortunately, he'd already submitted his master's list. Well, he resubmitted his list, but then forgot to press it properly. Yes. So he ended up having to play the same list for the masters. And he fought and won anyway.
In Matthias's defense, he tried not to use it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Sean says they need to lean into it and start releasing other ones. I think you mean other incarnates. Yeah, I mean, like, as long as it's not just another incarnate where everyone's taking it again and it's just like pay to win kind of feel, then absolutely. And make them more utility. Make them like different things and don't have that wound garbage. Like, just make them have.
I think another big thing with the incarnate was it came out and it was just when everyone had started using endless spells again. Because for so long, you maybe saw 1 or 2 endless spells in some lists.
Yeah.
And that was it. But there was lots of monsters. And now suddenly you've got armies where it's like a field day for Kronspine because you have lots of endless spells running around tables and you still have monsters kicking around tables.
Yeah.
And it was like the perfect environment for this thing which every army can take and is only 400 points. So even for that, it's like, that's not a huge chunk in comparison to some terrible monsters and stuff.
Here's what it should be. It should be Kronspine is stayed 400 points, take away the leveling thing. It just has 18 wounds. It's on a 4-up save. Bada bing, bada boom. Like, even then, you're still a buyer, right? Yeah. Like, +1 to cast. Like, it's a buzzsaw. I don't know. Anyway.
You could do it where if you kill a monster or an endless spell, you heal D3 wounds or D6 wounds or something. So you can still see. We should write these things.
I mean, GW, like, honestly, we're not bad people to talk to. Like, no offense to you, Dale, but like, especially me. You know why? I don't go to tournament. I play a variety of armies. My main goal on the channel is to have close, exciting games. I am like all about balance. I don't care if my faction does well because I don't even really care about that to begin with. Call me. So moving on. I mean, and again, let's just say one thing more about Kronspine. 80 points isn't enough. Fair. It's not enough. I think we all agree on that. But thank you, GW. I think for them, 80 points is a lot. Like, there's nothing else on here that went up or down more than 50. The closest thing other than that was the 2 big dragons, right? So thanks, GW. You did a good job, like, for adjusting it. But yeah, call me anyway. So then on to now. These are some huge changes though. Like we're burying we're kind of burying the lead. Yeah, these are huge. So
30 points to cogs.
First one is chronomatic cogs have moved up to 70 points, so it's plus 30 points. I almost knocked up.
But I mean, it was so cheap for 40 points.
It was too cheap. Yeah. I think this is too big of a jump though, because it's almost double.
No, I mean, to be honest, I would have made it only 1 caster gets to use it. if
and
it's
then
stayed
keep
at
it
40
40.
points.
Yeah.
So
That's
having it 70 points and it's still all because like think about it in like a Lumineth Realm Lord's army.
no. I've
Or
got a
like
better
Nagash. It's like you have this thing, which even for 70 points now stops Nagash pretty much from miscasting.
There's a better analog to this, Dale, and it's our own endless spell of the Skitterstrand Cauldron thing.
Yeah.
It attaches to the wizard, right? And he gets it.
Yeah.
So
but
it's
he can
like,
also take wounds as well.
and it's more. It was like 60 points.
Yeah.
And he could take wounds. Yeah. So and you can still dispel it. Like I could go on. Yeah. No, I agree. It's just fun. Like I like this age of endless spells that we're in. Like I like having them. I like them being interesting and part of the game. And they just really weren't in Age of Sigmar 2.0. And so I want it to continue. Launch in the Soul Seeker plus 20
You'll still
points.
see it. Like at 70 points, you're still going to see it.
Oh yeah. The only problem though is that you're going to see it in the armies that already wanted to take it. So I don't know. Like I'm not sure what they can do about that, but just what it is. Launch of the Soul Seeker plus 20 points. He's at 50 points now. I don't know.
I think the thing with that is it doesn't like even at 20 points for the fact that you get to do the thingy move and then I think you get to move after it as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, the fact is every turn is just like you can even do it like you can take something out of combat with it. It's just too good.
But like I don't know. I wasn't seeing it.
I was. The Matthias took it in every list.
Yeah, Matthias plays Skaven, so it's really good with Thankful.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I've seen. I see it quite a lot. Mainly with Skaven.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really good in Skaven because you can move Thankful and then you can flamethrower guys. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's the fact that you can do it and then still make a move or a run.
Yeah, you cast the spell and then you can move like up to 18 inches. It's not like you make a normal move. It's significant. I'm not saying it's not, but like I don't know. I don't think you're going to see it at all anymore outside, and then you'll still see it in Skaven because it's still good in Skaven. It's kind of like what I was saying before. Purple Sun is not really a change. Well, Purple Sun changed in between, so it is a change if you weren't running Battlescroll or you just didn't notice. Plus 20 points to 90, and it's got the other changes that were made to it in magenta. We've already kind of gone over it. Umbral Spell Portal plus 10. It went from 70 to 80. I don't think it means anything. I think this is the least interesting change.
I don't see them often anymore. I think you see them if you've got like a Teclis or a Karios, but then it's like
or Nagash.
10 points.
Yeah.
Like
10 points. Like if you had a 2,000 point on the nose list, now you can't take it, I guess. But yeah, or if you were at 1990, you won't be getting a Triumph for sure. Yeah, 10 points is kind of meaningless. I don't know. If they're going to change it 10 points, I feel like they should just leave it the same. Right? Like, and honestly, you know what I would have liked to have seen is like Ravenix down, like maybe like Ravenix down 5, or what's the twin ones?
Geminids.
Geminids like down 10 or mess around with other stuff that we're not really seeing lately. Like I don't know. Anyway,
like the Scythe one, because that's a cool model. You just don't see it because it's just like.
Oh yeah. That used to be like one of the only ones that people liked in AoS 2 when it first came out. Alex says it's one of the problems of generic things. It has to be priced for the outlier who best uses it, and I agree with that, right? But yeah, it's like Giants and Amulet of Destiny or Giants and not necessarily Giants specifically, but any faction without a spellcaster, they can be given the what's it called? Arcane Tome. Yeah. So, although I like Arcane Tome, I'm glad they didn't touch it. So, yeah, I just think it's interesting, and I think it helps the factions that are down more than it hurts everyone else, and everyone has access to it. Like that's the other good thing. Even if there are outliers, that's why I kind of don't like them messing around with the points as much, like with bringing them down. And I don't know why Emerald Life Swarm didn't go down when now it's not heal twice, it's heal once.
Yeah, that one's.
But whatever. Overall, I really liked the Battlescroll update. I'm a glass half full person.
Yeah. My feelings have already been made clear on the situation.
Yeah.
We'll see what it does over the next couple of months. I don't see it having a big impact. Is the only thing.
I don't see it having a huge impact. But hopefully the one faction that I'm hoping it helps is Cruel Boys, because there's no book on the horizon. They have a 3.0 book, and until there's just like a new book, which I don't see happening in 3, maybe at the end, I don't know. It's going to be a little rough, I think. So
right.
Yeah, hopefully,
so, while we were chatting,
yeah.
I wrote a Gits list.
Okay.
Trying to do that tricky thing.
Okay, what's the tricky thing?
You could for 1995 points.
Yeah.
Have a Fungoid Shaman.
Okay.
A Loom Boss with Giant Cave Squid. A Madcap Shaman and a Web Spinner Shaman. The Web Spinner Shaman is your general.
Yeah.
So you have 4 heroes.
Yeah.
Then you have 3 units of 5 Spider Riders.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, you can even drop one of those and just have 2, because then I also have 20 Stabbers.
Yeah.
10 Boing Grots, 6 Strogoths, 24 Squigs, and 10 Boing Grots.
Okay.
Sorry, and a Slugoth.
I like it.
So, and the only ones that are bounty hunters affected are the Spider Riders and the Stabbers.
The Spider Riders are not bounty hunters affected because they have a mount.
Oh yeah, because it's only the Stabbers.
Yeah.
So that is a potential. So you could only bring back the Stabbers or the Spider Riders, but as I said, most of the time that was never really a thing that happened anyway.
So, before I want to tell you my list, because this is my list my list is unchanged. Yeah. Except for the change to the Arachnarok becoming battle line, okay? But before I do that, I agree, Alex. I actually think it's a big change for KB, and I'm hoping people start taking it because they're a really, really cool army. And Alex is drowning in destruction releases right now because that's his.
Even the spell thing helps them a bit, so they can actually start casting some magic and doing their buff.
Yeah. I think Alex is Gork personified, and Hillary is Mork, and you're the Bad Moon, and I'm the Spider. Actually, no, I'm not. I can't front. I'm definitely the Horn Rat. So my list is Fungoid Cave Shaman, Loom Boss on Mangler Squigs because I love them, Madcap Shaman, Web Spinners Shaman on Arachnarok Spider. It's my general. It has spell of Sneaky Distraction, Totem of the Spider God, Master of Magic for rerolls, and then the Madcap Shaman has the extra one, the old thing that everyone takes. Arachnarok, Spider Fang Party, Battle Line, and then 2 units of Spider Riders, and then Dobby, 2 units of 6 Trolls, Rock Gut Troggoths, a unit of Sneaky Snufflers, and the Scuttle Tide.
Okay. Yeah.
Not because it's good, because it's 10 points more than Ravenix, which I think is obviously better, but it's cool, and I get an extra +1 to cast it if I use my Web Spinner Shaman. So he could be +3 to cast that thing, and it's anywhere on the board from a terrain piece. So that's kind of fun. I might switch it out for Ravenix. I have the points, but I'm still a thinking. But I need to paint stuff. Continue on my journey. Well, that is the Battlescroll update. You've got like the good cop, bad cop. Or the two faces.
Good cop, disgruntled cop.
Yeah, yeah. Or like I was thinking of the two, like the two faces of like the plays, like you see,
Yeah.
like one's sad and then the other's
Sinister Dexter.
yeah, laughing. I'm the laughing one.
Yeah.
I mean, I like small tweaks. I agree that they're not enough. The problem is that like they don't usually, a lot of the time they'll make a tweak and then they don't go back to it. So hopefully they go back to it, and hopefully they like look at like, even when they're messing around with Seraphon, like sure, okay, fine, like I think the changes are way overboard for some of them, but then like why not give Saurus Warriors a buff? Like that makes no sense, right? The I can't remember the guy with the shield, Gorok. I forget what his name is on there. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff, but the Strike Last. What about the Strike Last stuff? Are you Sean? Are you referring to the Strike and
That's
Fade?
the Strike and Fade.
But that's not Strike Last. So I'll wait for the chat to catch up. What's your overall? What's your summary, Dale? What's your conclusion? 2 thumbs down.
I'm distracted. I would show you what I'm distracted by. I'm just going off Twitter. Someone just sent me this, and it's just glorious. It's a ladies' product that looks like the.
Okay. Not that kind of show, Dale. Not that kind of show.
That's amazing. So, yeah, it's a thumbs down. I just don't think it has an impact.
I think it definitely has an impact.
I think the only impact will be people stopping to play Seraphon for a while, and they'll move to just play another army.
And hopefully they start playing Cruel Boys again. Yeah. Maggotkin? Maybe? Stormcast? I think Stormcast is a reasonable thing. 40 points, 50 points, 50 points, 40
yeah, but
points.
It's not like Stormcast were not doing average or well.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it going to do to affect the army's wins, loss, and draws? Like, yeah,
it'll affect variety.
You might see
it affects internal balance.
But is that going to affect their win, loss, draw?
Well, overall, probably not. But yeah. Okay, so you can. Sean says you can overseed Strike Last abilities with things that force you to attack. I still don't really understand. Do you understand what he means? Just before we go, I know I somehow need to paint more GR for KB. GR. Oh, Gut Rippers. Yeah. Attaboy, Alex. The King of Gut Rippers. You can overseed Strike Last abilities. I'm not. I can't think of anything that does a lot of Strike Last other than Night Haunt, but you have to get really lucky with your roll. Bless you. I'm not sure. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Alex says regarding Iron Jaws. I can't speak. Iron Jaws fight immediately. You could override Strike Last with it. It was just clarified now. I see. Got it. Huh. So what? So before you could override it. Now you can't. I guess. Like now, if you put Strike Last, they can't immediately fight. Is that the change? Yeah. Oh, Tree Lord Stomp. I see.
I know. My brain stopped working right now.
It's getting it like. I'll look it up. Can beat Strike Last. Oh, that's kind of. I don't know if I like that, but I have to think about it more. Like I'm just hearing about this for the first time. I was not aware. Yeah, which it already clear, but it wasn't as clear cut. Yeah, so now it's like, I see. Now they've come down on a side saying it can be overridden. Huh. Yeah. I wasn't aware of that. I don't think I like that, just because, like, it becomes what's the point, and then, you know what I mean? Um, yeah. Interesting. Well, that's good to know. Good to plan for. But yeah, I can't. Uh, yeah, for sure. Like, I get what they're doing there. Alex says it's because it's the last effect, and it contradicts the earlier effects. And I get that, but it's just like it nullifies the whole point of that ability. So then you know, anyway. Uh, yeah, I don't.
We can look over it and discuss it next time.
Yeah,
when
that's
we've
what
had
I'm thinking
a chance to
too.
look at it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, immediate reaction is that's I don't. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. But maybe there's a good reason for it that I'm not seeing. Thank you so much to everyone for hanging out. Um, it was a pleasure chatting with you guys. I had a lot of fun being good cop to Dale's what's
Yeah,
called
Frontal Cop.
the veteran on the force who's like 20 days away from retirement, and he's going to go on the last dangerous mission.
Someone spat in his coffee and gave him the wrong coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's the guy that like arrested the hot dog vendor, and now he just gets his revenge every day.
But tomorrow we're playing a game of Lumineth, new Lumineth.
Yeah.
Versus
So
something.
I'm hoping it'll go up by next Monday.
And then on Tuesday next week we're gonna have a chat about the book.
We are. So new Lumineth book, hopefully this Monday, and I don't know what Mr. Tonson's playing against it. And then we're gonna do a Lumineth review. I don't know anything about Lumineth, so it's gonna be Dale talking about Lumineth, and I will listen and hopefully ask some good questions. So, that's pretty much it.
My review of Lumineth is Cows Go Moo.
Cows go moo. I mean,
Cows go moo.
I actually did know that.
Moo gone wild.
Maybe I don't know as little as I thought. But yeah. So well, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. We're on 1 point.